run that shit up.
Hey guys, welcome back to Cincy Sharks Podcast. We are on episode 4. We're going to talk about the Bengals recap against the Ravens. We're going to get into the Rams game. We're also going to talk about the giveaway and who won that. We're excited for that. We're going to do more of those coming up, so make sure to stay tuned. We're going to get into Week 2 NFL news and then get into our Week 3 picks. Now, starting off with the recap of the Bengals game, we unfortunately did lose to the Ravens 27-24. We got that.
It's exactly the start we said we didn't need this year.
Yeah, definitely not.
0-2 in the division. That's why it's a little different than last year, like we talked about. We'll get to the Burrow part later on, but it's just not the same as last year, but I still believe.
You can't lose faith.
Nope.
Yeah, I mean, there were some bright spots too. I mean, you look at it, running the football, man. I think the Bengals got to do more of that. You know, we don't really do a total of it. I think Mixon had like 13 carries. Looked pretty good in those 13 carries. I would say if the offense is as rusty as they have been, and I know, Jordan, you're going to talk a little bit more about it, the play calling itself, that opens up a lot of what we want to do. I mean, if Mixon's getting 18-ish carries a game, that's only 5 more carries. I mean, we got to find a way to get him those extra carries. Yeah,
that's a good point. And especially with Burrow and his calf limiting play calling, as Zach said, I think you still got to find ways to open up Jamar a little bit more.
More than just the bubble screens. And
I mean, you look at teams like the Dolphins, the Rams, and the Vikings. They all three have pocket passers, all three of them. But somehow their number one receiver is getting over 100 yards per game every time. And I get it. Burrow does improvise a lot. He is an improviser. But as a play caller and as an offense coordinator and, offensive pass game coordinator, you have to figure out how to get your number one open, your number two open, and try to figure out what to do at your tight end, as Irv Smith seems to be struggling with our system a little bit.
Dude, that second foot. Oh, he almost had it. Should have had that foot down.
He had nothing but green.
That would have kept the momentum going.
That crushed it.
Yep.
Oh, my gosh.
He got tripped up on that short pass Burrow threw to him. He had nothing but green in front of him. Could have gritted all the way to the end zone if he wanted to. But it's just plays like that really slow down the offense, the momentum. Frustration builds. The pick Joe Burrow threw was his only turnover-worthy play of the year so far, so that's kind of a good thing for him as a kind of being smarter with the field. But on that pick, he did have Jamar open towards the left-hand side of the end zone. Would have been a touchdown with a good throw. So that's kind of my only issue with that. He was kind of just looking dead set middle of the field.
I think, like we've talked about, I think Burrow he's been rusty. He didn't play in the preseason, so he's been a little frantic, and he's been frantic more in the pocket. Until he gets back into his rhythm, he's not fully seeing the whole field like he usually does when he gets to himself. So right now, he's probably just focusing and worrying about that calf that he's just trying to get rid of the ball, so he's not holding on to that ball an extra second or so to maybe take a hit to hurt him. He's just trying to get rid of that ball, trying to make a play happen maybe a little too faster than he's used to, because our line's better than what it's been in the past years, and so he's just a little worried, I think.
Yeah, Eric's going to get into the numbers of the offensive line in a second, but I feel like when you run 2 plays under center, it kind of limits what you can do on offense, and it kind of helps the defense a little bit.
It scripts you. I mean, it makes you very.
That's what I feel like our offense is just very readable. Even us
at
as
that point,
fans,
so much
I know
talent
Jordan,
too,
and all of us can say this is the kind of play we know what's coming, but
when you throw it on, I heard the announcer say it when I was watching the game, when you throw it on first down and you don't get that completion, second and long is you already have to throw again.
Yeah.
So then you're throwing again. Say you're already setting yourself up to throw it 3 times in a row already. Running on first down is big. I mean, you have to establish the run.
You don't want to run every time on first down, obviously, but it seems like we're never running.
Yeah, because then you can you run the delays and then you run the screens and then play actions build off of it. I mean, it all comes together.
These next few weeks, no matter if Burrow's playing or not, I think we need to focus on establishing the run and get the running game going.
I mean, 13 punts so far in the year is not
Who would have bet that?
is not a viable.
I don't know
thing.
why the recipe, like Burrow's got a hurt calf, and the recipe is to drop back and throw so many times a game and not just give the ball to Mixon, who's averaging whatever he's been.
Mixon needs
4.5 yards.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Yeah, 4.5 yards a carry. You got to give him the ball.
Exactly.
Especially coming into Monday night. We're going to talk a little bit when we get there, but Mixon just needs more touches. That's just
Yeah,
it's just
I mean,
that's just it. I mean, Mixon's looks I think the best he's looked since
And he's hungry.
And
maybe
I think he's
2019.
I think
he
he's
looks
looked down
good.
at third.
He looks
He's
really
looked
good.
like the best third down back in my opinion. To me,
And it just sucks because he's getting limited by the play calling. I mean, I
Well-
understand Zach's point of view of you want to save Burrow a little bit. What he's doing is kind of hurting our offense more than it
Yeah.
is.
Well, and we've been down in both games too. So I'll give it that. You
Yeah.
know, as far as like throwing the football because we're down. But
And my thing is, if you should have. I mean, it's tough to say as a fan. You can just sit there and say, well, you should have benched Burrow this 2 weeks. We would have been 0-2 anyways with Jake
Yeah.
Browning at quarterback, or if we brought up Will Greer. So I mean, it's easy as a fan to say that. As a coach, I mean, that's a really hard decision to make.
yeah, I mean that's the franchise.
But at the same time, it's as a coach, I understand why he can. He let Burrow play. It was a soft tissue injury. He had 5 to 6 weeks to let it heal.
He said he was good to go. I
yeah,
mean,
I think they also take Burrow by his word. Like
yeah, I mean,
Burrow knows. I don't think he's wanting to put himself out there if he knows he's going to get hurt or anything like that.
So I mean, Eric's gonna get into the offensive line stuff here. So I mean, it's just a frustrating loss. That's all it is.
yeah,
I mean, the O-line looked really good week 2 compared to week 1. We had Ted Karras with an 83.4 pass block grade. Orlando Brown with an 82.9. You had Mixon with a 66.4. Trevion Williams with a 79.5. I mean, those are really good. I think the two biggest issues on the O-line is Kappa and Volson right now.
The guards.
Well, that's Volson. That's Volson all around, but just Kappa really with the run
Yeah,
blocking.
yeah, Kappa's really good in the pass, but those two in the run game, you just can't really do it.
And it seems like we're not mixing up the run game enough with the left running to the left or running to the right. It seems like we kind of stick to a side per game. Like versus the Browns, it seemed like we were running nothing to the left-hand side where everything was ran to the right. I think during the Browns game, we ran the ball to the left once or twice. And it seemed like versus the Ravens, I don't have the numbers on it, but from watching it, it seemed like we only ran it to the left. I mean, I could be wrong, but it
I
just
mean, that's what it looked like.
it's what it looked like. It seemed what we were seeing.
I just don't get why we're so readable. That's probably not the right word. It's just like you're saying, like we just keep running the ball to the same side. It's just like you got to change stuff up. Do some. If we had Mike McDaniel with Zach Taylor, head coach, Mike McDaniel, offensive coordinator,
And
he
again-
would make
this is-
Jamar
So
would be probably.
that's a little bit like obviously Mike McDaniel, but like just I agree. I think
Well, I'm just
we just
saying,
need a new face. I mean, we've had the longest tenured coordinators in the NFL.
Well, I don't think they should be fired yet.
No,
but it's
I'm
just
not
like-
saying we're not calling for anybody's job here.
No,
I
just
think Zach
so-
Taylor is
like
the
a
perfect
person-
head coach for the Bengals.
But I just
Yeah.
don't see how they don't take like tips. Do we just not have we have a good line? I don't even know what it is.
I think our off-season game plan revolved around Burrow being completely healthy,
yeah,
and then we had that calf injury in OTAs or training camp, so that kind of sets back your offense a little bit.
Yeah, I mean,
but
if he's
during
hurt,
that
he's hurt.
time, there was enough time for Callahan and Zach to get together and build at least 5 to 6 scripted drives the first couple weeks.
Well, you see like Tyreek move to the slot in motion and then just run literally like a slant.
Yeah.
A pick slant. I mean, we just need to be doing that kind of stuff. Even I mean, just get him the ball in his hands.
Just get Jamar on those premier routes.
And it seems like they always wait to do that too late because
Yeah.
it was like they started to do that in the second half, but then it was kind of not too late because we were still in the game. But
Or we'll have a big drive and then it's incompletion on first, second, and long. Then we'll run it. It's third and 7, third and 6. Just we just need to get out of those situations.
I'm just tired of watching Vikings film and watching Justin Jefferson get open on these nice
he's
routes.
different though, man. I mean, Jamar is too.
Is
but,
he? I mean,
I would say
back
they're comparable. Yeah,
to their
they're one
LSU days.
Yeah.
Jamar was 1.
They're 1A, 1B.
Yeah, it's just Jamar. I think just needs more help with the game plan.
Do the Bengals? I think me and Colton were talking about it. The Bengals treat T though as a 1.
They do, yeah.
So the route trees are gonna be like Jamar's on one side, T's on the other. They're getting the one routes. I mean, it kind of sucks as like a fan because like we want to see Jamar eating, but like they're just scheming for both of them. Whereas like the Vikings are force feeding JJ.
I get that, but you look at the Dolphins though. They have
They have
Jalen
Waddle,
Waddle
yeah.
and they have Tyreek Hill.
But
I think for the Bengals, I think it's also
do
a
more than we do.
matchup thing for them. When they see a matchup they love, they kind of will force it to that. Like they had a beat up secondary, so I don't know why. I don't know who their starters were off the top of my head, but I just think that whoever their 2 was on T was probably not. I don't know. I think they like to pick on certain people.
Yeah.
But it seemed like we had one go route that entire game, which is crazy.
We haven't
considering-
and we haven't hit one we haven't hit like that like Bengal Burrow deep ball yet.
Well, and that's another thing. We haven't even
Attempted
Attempted
to even get
it
down the field.
seemed
That's
like.
what
Yeah.
Jamar brought up in his.
press conference.
Yeah.
Jamar's like, we need more go routes because that's what our offense thrives on. You know,
Yeah.
we get those big plays, then we run it, we pound the rock,
Go.
we get
Yeah,
play
get down
action,
the
we get
field.
it going. You know what I mean? That's kind of what
That's
we're
Uno.
built
Like,
off.
he's-
Yeah.
That's who he is. He's that deep vertical threat. I mean,
We're like a fast-powered, like high-powered offense. We're not kind of like a slower-paced offense.
it'll click. I mean, I'm not like I don't think any of us are hitting the panic button.
Oh,
It's
no,
just-
not yet.
oh,
No,
it's
no,
It's
no,
a
no.
little. It might be getting out.
Might be getting out.
Yeah.
I'd be thinking about that on the defensive side, just because I mean,
The defense.
Defense was tough, but Todd Monken for the offense coordinator for the Ravens, he called a perfect game against Lou. An absolute perfect game.
they were diced.
Flawless.
The middle of the field, and Zay Flowers, he is fast.
That guy's the real deal.
Dude, he's
That guy's the real deal.
man. Odell obviously looked good against us again. I think
Lamar looks like
I like that he stayed in the pocket a lot.
Lamar
more
looks like
than
a passer.
Todd had him
he did.
Yes,
He
I
looked
like
good,
that
man.
a
He
lot.
did.
We-
70%
us
completion.
Bengals fans. I've done it. I've always bashed Lamar for his running, called him a running
No,
back.
he-
but he looks.
He beat
Just
us.
because
he beat
it's
us
so
in
hard
the
to
air.
guard.
He beat us
he,
in the
he
air.
beat us in the air. He looked good. He looks really good as a
Yes, he
passer,
did.
which kind of sucks.
Yeah, it does.
Yeah.
It does. Because he's.
But
I mean,
that's just
when him and Andrews are
great
on
on
the field
Todd
together,
Oh, it's
they win football games,
Dangerous.
man.
They do.
that's gonna be dangerous trio right there. Like you can probably take Odell out. The Zay Flowers, Mark Andrews, Lamar trio.
Yeah,
It's gonna be-
and
it's gonna be
Odell
good.
when he's there. I mean, that's
Yeah.
and they had injuries, man. That's the thing that kind of does not scare me, but it's like okay,
They did that.
their starting
their
center, and
linemen were
starting
out,
left tackle
like-
were out, and Lamar still had the
And-
lowest pressure
I
rate in his.
is
career.
is Aguilar back? Like I mean,
Nelson?
Yeah,
Aguilar?
yeah.
Yeah, he
I mean,
played.
no, I'm saying like,
Is he back,
Is he
though?
back? Like, I mean, the
Oh.
dude was a first round pick, right?
Yeah,
Like,
I mean, he had those few
a
years. I
guy
mean,
that hasn't looked good for years.
At all.
every time I think of Aguilar, I think
He
about that
looked so
that
good.
Philadelphia Eagles fan where they were throwing babies from the house over
Yeah.
the fire. You know, he was out there catching babies, unlike Aguilar. Like, that's like the funniest thing I can think of when it comes to Aguilar.
but
But-
that's just funny because he did have some struggles, but now obviously landed in Baltimore. So I don't know. I think the young secondary is kind of showing a little bit. There's been some deep plays in both games against Cleveland and Baltimore to where it's like, okay, they're younger. I mean, Battle got some playing time with Nick Scott being hurt. Just kind of what are you guys' thoughts on the secondary?
It's a little worrisome.
I'm not-
It's young. It's young.
Yeah, it's young.
But
I'm not- I'm
Awuzie's
cur-
coming back.
I'm
He's
curious to
coming back.
see who would start if Nick Scott was to miss.
I think it's
If-
Battle.
If it would be Battle,
It'd be
or
Battle.
if they would
Battle.
mix in some Tyson Anderson.
It'd
He'd
be
play,
bad.
I
but
think they
Battle
will.
would start,
I think they'll
though.
mix in some
Tyson Anderson went out twice in not Tyson. Nick Scott went out twice last game. Jordan Battle came in every time.
Which sucks that he went out twice in the same game.
It-
That
he-
always sucks.
I think he's a little undersized for making the tackles.
Dude, he's a
trying
hard
to make.
hitter too. I mean,
He was trying for those hard hits on guys that are bigger than him.
I love to see it,
He's-
but he
yeah.
just gets. It seems like he's
Big
getting
stick
hurt.
in the
on
He
it.
needs, to,
bro,
he, needs
Nick
to take
Scott.
the, he needs to take the Mike Hilton route. Mike Hilton knows he's a small
He
guy.
goes low.
He knows he needs to go
He knows where
Not-
to hit you.
but not
He
in a
knows
bad
where to
way.
hit you.
Not in a bad way.
Not in a
Not
bad
the
way, yeah.
Steeler way.
Yeah, that's
No,
not.
no,
Yeah,
see the
that's
way.
what I was getting at.
Don't we go in there?
Why
We all
not?
saw
why
Minka.
not?
We all
We've
saw-
seen
we
plenty
all
of
saw- we all
highlights of
saw
that
that.
kind of stuff. We know.
That's true.
Look, I'll throw out my respects to Mike Tomlin. I don't think it's him, but that Steelers. I don't know. Steelers always been a dirty team.
I think Asai is Asai playing this week
We're waiting to see
Should.
the injury
Yeah,
report
he should
tomorrow.
be back.
because if he's back, that's huge. I think we're
Oh,
missing.
huge.
That helps with the rotation.
We're missing that pass rusher. Bengals, I don't think got a sack again this week.
They had sacks, but they got called back.
Yeah, but
like
they got
3
called
times.
back. Yeah.
Because they had a strip sack that got called back.
So It's just we got to get pressure. I mean, it's Lamar, so I mean that's tough. Stafford's not as mobile. He does
That's
get
why I
out of the
said
pocket.
we do kind
but
of better against quarterbacks like this, but they also kind of eat more because he can throw.
it just I think
Expect a lot of
Well,
deep balls.
Murphy actually
this
didn't look
week.
bad. And
I
then
don't
we'll get
know
back in
if
his
He had a
was-
pretty good rep.
I don't know if it was part of the
It's
game
one.
plan or not, but it seemed like Trey Hendrickson was going a little too far outside when rushing.
like letting Lamar kind of get
Lamar
upfield.
was able to get up into the pocket, find that lane right there.
And-
So I don't know if
And maybe
they,
their thing was they didn't because
pushing him one way.
I was listening. If the mic'd up came out today, Mike Hilton, and he was saying make sure to push him inside. Maybe he was trying to make sure like
They do
there's
like-
no
they
way
do
he's
like to
getting
funnel
inside
him
on
up.
him.
maybe that
That's
was
what
the
I'm saying.
problem. Our interior defensive
So they
line
can
wasn't
maybe-
able to get there. So I mean that's just another
I also
schematic
blame like the amount of snaps the defense was taking.
thing. Yeah,
It's going to tire you out. And now getting a side back's huge because he brings
he brings a lot of energy.
He brings energy, firepower. I
Yeah.
mean, that's going to help you out.
Pretty
a lot.
sure it's like a record. We're on like a record pace or something. Like as a team playing defensive snaps or something.
Well, I mean, when your offense has going back to the offense, sorry, the least amount of yards in the league, you're going to be on the field.
Well, with part of that, you just got to pound the rock. At least get the running game going.
Yeah,
to
yeah.
Give your
keep
defense
your
a
defense
break.
off the
Yeah.
field.
Shout out Charlie Jones, special
Shout-
teams.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome punt
Big.
return. Glad to see that. I think he
Sizzle.
has more of that. I think he has more of that
I
this
think
year.
That helps
looked
out
good.
too. That helps out the team in
He
general.
read
I
the
mean,
field perfectly on that.
Just having a punt returner that's a threat like that is a game changer. You saw it in the AFC Championship game when Kadarius Toney, like him as a receiver might be different, but him as a punt returner, like that and it was kind of it. Like the punt was not really as well, but he still he got like 30 yards on the punt return and
A good
like-
punt returner can really flip the game.
Yeah.
I mean,
Yeah.
if
That
you know,
gave us
you
a lot of
you
momentum.
Saw Josh Cribbs and Devin. Well, I think Hester was more of a kick returner, but Josh Cribbs.
he was a punt returner.
Just watching them back in the day, all those
we-
plays they make.
We
difference
watched.
makers.
We and Eric were at the game. I mean, the energy in the stadium after that
Dude,
punt
it's-
return.
I mean, that was just the
huge.
first
It
touchdown
was
of
a
the
huge
year.
momentum.
What a way to have
Yeah.
the first
Boost.
touchdown of the year.
Going from just a good punt, changing it too, like because they're thinking they're getting a field flipping punt. You take it even on the other side of the field. That's just, I mean, going out short field is awesome for us.
Yeah.
And I think he's going to be able to do that for us a lot.
Exactly.
Easily.
And we're not going to touch on the Brad Robbins stuff just yet. We wanted to this episode talk about his struggling with the punt so far, but I think we're going to give it a little bit more time to
Yeah.
dive into it. I think he's a rookie punter. He's probably dealing with some nerves, some pregame stuff. Darren Simmons did get into him a little bit last game,
Bad situations, I would say, especially week one.
but we're just not going to touch on it just yet. I want to see what he does against the Rams and see what we do against the Rams. That's what we're going to talk about next. Is the Rams game? If Burrow is a no-go, I would love to see Will Grier get the snaps.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm with you on that one.
I mean,
I want to, but my thing is, I think they like and respect Jake Browning enough. I think they're going to give him the
Like
first
and respect
game.
isn't going to bring you wins.
But
No,
I think
I know, but I
if
think
you
they're
play-
going to give him the first game.
That's what sucks. That's what
and
sucks.
just out of respect. And then
'Cause
if
he's
he
been
doesn't
there.
play very well, then they're gonna be like, all right,
they're going to play it safe.
because they don't
with
want to
Browning.
you don't want to make him mad right away. Like
That's my problem with Browning. You have to play
They're
it
going to
safe.
play it safe.
I think with Will Grier, I think he has a little bit more potential to where you can open it up. I know he's had his struggles in the NFL.
He's just more athletic, I think.
He's
is
more
what
I
it
think
is.
he has a bigger
he's
arm.
Mobile.
Definitely a bigger arm.
A lot bigger arm than Browning. Browning's my biggest worry is he's kind of like a Ryan Finley, where you have to
like
throw
he's-
short. You
He's
have
safe.
to.
You have to play it safe.
But then again, if Burrow is out, I want Mixon.
Yeah,
20
I mean,
plus
that should
carries.
be definitely a mixing
20 plus
game.
carries.
Yeah, definitely.
even if Burrow plays, I think Mixon.
Even
needs to be-
that's a good point. That's a good point, Colton. Even if Burrow does play, I still want Mixon to get at
take
least
some
15
pressure
plus.
off that calf.
Well, if
Or at
Browning
least try.
plays, you got to give him like 30
30.
plus touches.
I mean,
That's-
Start
yeah,
mixing in fantasy if Browning's starting.
So yeah, if Browning does start,
To whereas if
That
you
game's
start
over.
Greer, he's just a multi-tool weapon.
It does suck talking about this because
Yeah, 'cause
obviously we
yeah,
all want
we-
Burrow to play.
yeah, I don't
but
even
it's
like
just
talking
It's something
about
you
it.
got to talk about.
it's the reality of things and how things can move forward. But if Will Grier plays, obviously I don't think he is, or especially if Jake Browning plays, this gives Zach and Brian an opportunity to showcase what they can do as schemers and play callers.
I think just in general this game though too, Burrow, whoever's at quarterback, we need to get more tight end just scheming. Like the tight end, we need
Please
to get
call
the
up
tight end
Tanner
involved
Hudson.
more.
Bring up Tanner Hudson, please.
Tanner Hudson.
He needs to be brought up. It's
Irv
time.
Smith was my breakout player for this year, and I don't want to judge him off of 2 games, but he seems lost.
'Cause
He seems like he doesn't bring fire. Maybe I'm comparing him too much to Hayden Hurst.
Well, I mean, it's a fair comparison. I mean, the last 2 seasons, his safety blanket's been his tight ends. Uzama, Hurst. I mean, and he's
and
just not
Hurst,
having that.
Hurst last year, it really sucks seeing him go. I thought he was the perfect tight end for us.
And he's
he
perfectly
was
fitting in Carolina.
He had something in him that was just dog.
He's a locker room guy, man.
He brought fire.
I think there was a different never mind. I don't even want to talk about it. Go ahead.
Sure.
Yeah, go ahead.
And it seems like, and I'm kind of worried about the defense a little bit this coming week, just because the Rams, they put up a really good fight against the 49ers. The 49ers defense is great.
Yes.
So, I mean, it's a division game, so obviously they get up for that.
What scares me is the Rams receivers are speedsters. Tutu Atwell and Nakua.
I mean, that's when we have DJ Turner, fast guy, Dax Hill, fast. I mean, we can bring
They're
it.
going to put Mike Hilton on him.
We can bring in Tyson Anderson if we want to. Mike Hilton does seem like he's lost a step a little bit, but I'm confident that we can get it together. Lou is a scientist when it comes to defensive play calling.
This needs to be I think this needs to be a statement game.
Monday Night Football.
I think obviously we could get ahead of ourselves as Bengals fans, and we're probably going to not make it a big statement game like we think we could, or hopefully we do, but I just hope they don't go in there and lose this one.
Going back to what Gary said about the defense, how he felt about it, I feel pretty good about the Bengals secondary. I feel pretty good about their secondary. I mean, I don't think Cam Taylor-Britt's really been targeted at all. I don't think he's allowed anything.
I love CTB.
DJ Turner's playing more snaps. I mean, I know him and Awuzie are splitting them, but they both look good. I think the main issue is Mike Hilton. I just don't think he can do it in the passing game.
I think he's the odd man out.
He is. He's lost his step. He doesn't. I don't know. It's
we noticed it in the AFC Championship.
Yeah, that was the biggest game. He let up over 125 yards.
It was a lot. It was a game changing number for sure.
Yeah, it was, and you just can't have. I mean, I know he's a captain, and I think all Bengals fans love him.
He's a great locker room guy. He's a great and smart player.
He just can't do it. He can't hang with them.
When it comes to our nickel formations and he's coming in, it just seems like his guy up the middle's beating him.
Yeah. And you can't really just send a safety over there to help him all the time.
But
once the team figures that out, they'll start.
I would say that this, I mean, as far as our safeties and just our secondary in general being a little bit younger, I would say, the Rams receivers have been playing good, but this is a pretty good matchup for us as far as talent on talent. Mm-hmm. Stafford is just, I think, a different guy. I mean, he's very good at bringing the best out of his receivers. I mean, he did that in Detroit. I think the key is, we just got to get him off the field on those third downs.
Yep.
And that all comes down to I think our D-line needs to step up. I think it's top 5 highest paid D-line. They need to step up and really show. After they had a tough week last week, which I can see Lamar, you don't know how he's going to go with the new offense coordinator, if he's going to be his mobile self, but he wasn't, besides when he needed to be. But I think we need to see some, I think I want to see Hubbard take another step. We saw a big step from him last year, but I think I want to see a slight step again.
I get that. And hopefully Miles Murphy can kind of get up to the potential where the Bengals see him.
Did he play last week? I didn't really get to
Yeah,
watch
he
it.
played.
He came in.
He played.
All right.
He had a pretty good rep. He beat the tackle, but Lamar just went right.
That's why it's so tough when we play Lamar. That's the reason I don't like him. Is just because he's so good. He's mobile, and the mobile quarterbacks. When you're there to sack him, it's just nope, he's gone.
Yeah, I mean,
it's just irritating as a Bengals fan.
Yeah. I would say that's at least don't have to worry about that as much with Stafford. I mean, he can still move a little bit, but nothing like Lamar.
Nope.
I think it's time that we get into the giveaway winner. What do you say, boys?
Yeah,
sounds good.
It's a good time.
All right. We appreciate everyone who entered, and we will definitely be doing more giveaways. Not every time is going to be a jersey like this time.
Yeah.
But we definitely will do some other giveaways, some smaller things, maybe a mini helmet.
Gotta show some love to
Hoodies,
the
hats.
Hoodies, hats.
Just
Maybe some Jungle Streetwear merch for people to kind of spread out his apparel for Bengal stuff. It's awesome. We're going to tag them on Twitter as well Friday when we release this, and we're going to say it in here. And once I find it, I lost it. I think his name was Brandon Strauss. Is that who it was, boys?
double
Let me
check.
find his
So, yeah,
Twitter name.
Yeah, so pull it up real quick.
I literally just had it, but my thing.
We spun the wheel earlier.
Yeah, everything just completely
We already had
refreshed.
the name picked out, so we didn't have to worry about this. And
Completely
we did
refreshed.
this instead.
Andrew Schaus.
Andrew.
Andrew Schaus,
Andrew Schaus.
congratulations.
There you go.
man.
Congratulations.
Congrats.
Schaus 56.9. Congratulations.
Congratulations.
We're gonna DM you. You're gonna get a jersey of your choice, size, team, player,
Yeah.
whatever you'd like.
And we'll get that ordered as soon as possible.
We'll get that ordered as soon as possible. We'll ship it out to you. And we appreciate your support and your love, and we hope that we can continue to grow here. We definitely want to build a community with you guys and, spread love.
Yeah, and shout out to continued support, even though the growing pains. We're still figuring it out.
We are
And
still
if you
figuring
made
it
it this far in the video, make sure you guys give it a like right now and subscribe.
Yep. We're gonna stay consistent with this. We'll be here we record on Wednesdays, and we release on Fridays. We're on Apple, Spotify, and on YouTube. Just make sure to continue showing love, and maybe you'll win something one day. You never know, because we definitely want to continue doing this. And now for our next part of the video, we're gonna get onto the week 2 recap. We're gonna talk about big moments. A little bit, kind of the big thing that's on my mind right now is that Chubb injury. I was watching that game, and when I saw it happen, my heart kind of broke.
Dude.
I'm not a Cleveland fan, but I am a Nick Chubb fan. That guy is unbelievable. He's an unbelievable talent, unbelievable person, and it sucks to see. It really does. It's heartbreaking. He dealt with an injury like this back in 2015
in college.
and he thought he was never going to be able to play football again. And now for it to happen again,
Yeah, that sucks to watch him go through it.
I saw something about like a 15-month recovery maybe.
That's
Yeah, he's already out all season this year, and then some of next
Partially,
year.
yeah.
I mean,
It's truly heartbreaking.
Said it might take 2 surgeries to fix it.
Yeah, that's
I mean, he's
Just-
because like you just said. I mean, get rid of the football part. He's just a great dude.
Yeah.
I mean, hard worker, never in trouble.
Yep.
I mean, just
yeah,
sucks.
Being in our division, he's a guy that one of the few guys I actually love in our division.
right. I've
A
never.
guy I can not root for.
He's one of the only people I've never been mad at for playing good against us. Honestly, just because you just know he's that type of.
He's just like
guy.
a silent guy,
Yeah,
silent,
yeah.
the silent
Exact-
killer, and I like that.
That's another thing. I love people who are silent and just get it done. And he's one of those players.
yeah.
One of my big moments from week 2, I would say, is probably the Falcons game. I thought Green Bay was going to win that game, but
Desmond Ritter, 30-0
Yeah.
at home.
I think that was kind of impressive. They really impressed me this week. A comeback. I just really didn't think that would happen. I thought the Packers were going to win that.
Bijan Robinson's crazy though.
Dude,
Yes.
he is.
Yeah.
That guy
He's
is
on my
legit,
fantasy
man.
team.
When we watched the draft, I was like, I don't know, man. I
You
was
see
like,
that crazy
I
view
thought
of
it
like
was
the
stupid.
Jukes?
Stupid.
I
I thought it was a bad.
stupid
I thought
pick.
it was a bad pick too. But watching him, I mean, that guy is just explosive. He's
Yeah,
He's so good.
he's going to be a
the
star.
change of direction is insane.
He's going to be a star. 100%. He's going
Yeah.
to be a star.
My big moment, I guess my big game of week 2 would be the Commanders comeback on the Broncos.
Oh, that was
Just
a fun
because
game.
I mean,
Sam
obviously
Howell.
it's
That was
like
a fun
it's
game.
different than last year, right? Because Russ wasn't playing good last year. Was it coaching? Was it not? This year they're 0-2 again, but Russ is playing good. Sean Payton, is it Sean Payton? And now the Commanders, they're intriguing. Sam Howell played really good. They came back.
He looks like a legit
Hey.
dude NFL court. Like,
And
he
then,
looks like.
and then that Hail Mary at the end,
From
and then
Russ.
you don't get the 2
Point
point.
comparison.
well,
Oh
that's
my
one thing we have
gosh.
written down.
This is going to tie into my
Oh,
big
my bad.
moments.
All right.
It's okay.
Go ahead.
My
Yeah, go
biggest
ahead, go
moments
ahead.
this
Sorry.
past week was officiating.
The officiating seemed like a little.
You
bit
had
of a problem.
the phantom hold call on Cam Taylor-Britt.
that gave the Ravens 3 points.
Yep.
Yeah, and their timeout back. It
Yeah,
just,
that's what gave them their timeout back, their last
Yeah.
timeout, and that they kicked the field goal. But
I don't know how you missed that. It was the Seattle Lions game.
all the hold and
Yeah,
overtime.
there was that hold on Hutchinson, which let them, score.
Go Seahawks.
Yeah, Colton.
Upset of the week.
Colton was the only one who
Oh,
picked
it was
them.
the Seahawks,
That
yeah.
really wasn't an upset, though, dude.
Yes, it is.
I mean, okay, they weren't the favorites, but they're pretty even
That's what an
teams.
upset is.
And then it was the it was
This guy.
the
They were what, 3-point favorites?
No.
it was the Denver game. They got that Hail Mary touchdown, and with that 2-point conversion, the refs swallowed their whistles
Oh yes.
because there was a pass interference call there
Yeah.
that should have gave them another chance at that game.
He just straight up like bodied him
He just,
before the ball was there.
he was like wrapped up on him, and they didn't call.
Oh, if I'm
I
Denver,
can't-
yeah,
I'm
they did.
pissed.
Yeah, Sutton was. Yeah,
I'm pissed if I'm Denver.
You ref that whole game, and then you just had to swallow your
They
whistle
don't
and
deserve
not
it. They
say
blew it
anything
anyway.
about
They don't
that.
deserve it.
yeah. I mean,
Nah, but going back to what Gary said, like in that game, can we talk about Eric Bieniemy and not being with the Chiefs and like their point differential? What's in
He's doing
Commanders?
exactly what I thought he would do.
That's what I'm saying.
Sam Howell, man.
He was pretty ballsy to leave Kansas City in a Hall of
And he's
Fame
proven,
quarterback.
hey, and he's
To
proven
leave,
it.
he's proved it.
He's proven
he's
it with
proven
Sam
it right
Howell,
now.
and I loved it. That's why I wanted to bring it up.
Sam
I love
Howell's
that.
he's one of my favorite quarterbacks to watch right now. That guy's
Yeah,
he's.
I mean, 27 for
good.
39, 299 yards, 2 touchdowns, no picks, 116
Did you see that
QBR.
deep pass he had to Terry McLaurin?
Dude, yeah, right on the middle.
Oh my God, that's just beautiful ball.
And I mean, Brian Robinson looked good too. I mean, the Commanders, they're young.
Emmanuel
they're
Forbes
young,
got his first
but
pick in that game.
Emmanuel Forbes is the guy
Yeah.
Eric really wanted.
Yeah, so
I-
did I.
Him and Witherspoon.
Yeah,
Yeah,
and he got his first pick against Russ.
that was a
Good to
big
see.
Michael
Good
Mayer
to see
guy.
the Commanders are good. You know,
Yeah,
it's cool to
that's
see.
all-
yeah,
they're
yeah,
a team
for
that
sure.
I like to root for. Ron Rivera
Yeah, I
is
like
just a good
Bieniemy.
coach.
They
Yeah,
got
like
rid of that.
Rivera.
They got rid of that. Owner.
Yeah,
Don't care about that guy, but I like the Commanders. I loved it when the Commanders had Taylor Heineke. They won that little playoff. They put up that tough fight against the Buccaneers. I love that.
That was
Heineke,
great.
yeah,
Yeah. I love seeing underdog players like Brock Purdy.
Exactly.
I love watching Brock
Dude,
Purdy.
I know, right? Like,
Watching guys prove themselves on the field. That's just good stuff to see. That's just all around good stuff.
And then you had on Monday Night Football, Watson for like 4 turnovers, or the Browns in general. I don't know if it was Watson. I don't remember exactly. But you
Browns.
guys think he was the reason they lost?
Yes, hands down. Yes, I'm sorry. I don't care. I have no respect for that guy.
The Browns' defense isn't the reason they lost.
No, they did. The Pittsburgh didn't have the ball inside their own 30 and won the
Pittsburgh
game.
had like
And won the
negative
game.
2
I
yards the fourth
I
quarter.
mean, pick up minus the Pickens big play.
I'm
That's
pretty
it.
sure it was like Pittsburgh's defense scored 14. They had the pick six start
Yeah.
the game. T.J. Watt scored, and then like their offense scored 13 or something.
I want to
They-
say Watson set like an NFL record. He's the only quarterback to ever have 2 face mask penalties called on him.
I knew it was going to be
Only quarterback
Yeah.
to ever have that happen to him.
He also touched a referee and didn't get ejected for it.
I'm glad though. Not really because all right. I shouldn't say it like that. I have him in fantasy. And I
you
would have
got him in
started off
fantasy.
0 and 2.
Here we
I would have
go.
started 0 and 2 in fantasy because
Here
he
we
did not
go.
have enough points at that point.
Oh my God, officiating screwed me over again. No, but seriously, I don't think Watson's that good.
I think he's not. I think by now he would be kind of back to his old self if he was going to get back to his old self.
Yeah, he's
That's
had
all.
8. It's been half a season, 8 games. He's played 8 games since he's been back.
He's got a wide receiver 1. I mean, Nick Chubb obviously just got hurt, but he had a running back 1.
Jerome Ford put up
Kareem Hunt's
great
back.
numbers too.
An insane defense.
Cream Hunt's
Yeah.
back
I
in
mean, there's no
Cleveland now.
excuse. There just isn't.
1
Nope.
year, $4 million deal.
They said that I saw on Twitter somewhere
X.
that Denver and the Browns are in like a very unique quarterback situation because they can't get rid of these guys. They have so much money tied into them for so long. It's like you can't move on to a different quarterback because
How long was Watson's deal?
4. All
Guaranteed.
you all guaranteed. That's the issue. You can't-
Guaranteed.
So what are you going to do with him?
Mahomes got his deal restructured.
Yeah, to get paid just
Like,
slightly more, bro.
Like Nick Castellini said to Reds fans, "Where are you gonna go?"
Sell the jerseys.
Another play I want to talk about is that blocked field goal by I don't know.
Oh,
who
the
it is.
Patriots.
Patriots, yeah.
First off,
they
They're
screwed
running up
those
the sideline.
Screw Bill Belichick for ruining Madden 25. They're
Wow.
gonna. I know they're
Oh,
gonna.
it's
I
gonna
know
be
they're
in
gonna
it.
add that in
Red
Madden,
Madden.
and my field goal is gonna get
blocked
blocked
it.
online. Or online head-to-head game.
There's no stopping it.
There's
Yep,
no
it's
stopping
gotta
it.
be
Just let it be.
Yep. But it was a great play.
Dude,
Great
when
play.
I saw that
It
happen,
was.
I was like, did that just happen?
That's just Belichick.
I was like, did
I
that guy run from the sideline?
yeah, I was like, you forgot he was in. He just comes out.
I was like, is he playing?
And then you had the news today.
Oh, with the
Bears
with
and-
Bears.
Oh my God.
Is it true?
I was gonna say, do
is
we
it
even talk
true?
about that?
Well, I
Like,
was just meaning just the resigning.
Oh, well,
I didn't even have to bring.
For you guys who
had to
don't
bring that
know,
part. I was just
Alan
meaning
Williams,
resigning.
defense coordinator for the Bears, resigned today, and apparently Charles Tillman, former Bear and current FBI agent, informed the upper management of the Bears that they raided Allen's house and they found some very sensitive content and stuff We're not going to say what we think it is, but
A lot going down in Chicago.
a lot going down in Chicago.
Justin Fields ain't it.
Just
I'm not even gonna say anything. I mean, I like Justin Fields. He's a great athlete.
he's a great person
Yeah,
too.
And when he
He's-
runs, I
he's a
mean,
good guy.
and he can make big plays. It's just if the Bears,
Just scrolling
just not
through
the- he's not the
Twitter
future
or
quarterback.
X, this week, it was just like, I know I'm a hypocrite, but it just showed like his processing time and like all these receivers open, and then
He missed the
He
widest,
runs right into a sack,
the widest person ever.
and he's just like, I'm
now
just
I
gonna
will
run
say
into
like
this sack.
the 3 plays, the same play 3 times in a row at the end of the game. There probably not the smartest thing to do.
No.
But execution is still a thing.
Guys,
like,
it's the only play I can remember.
thanks, yeah.
He threw a 3-yard pick six to Shaquille Barrett.
Yeah.
Shaq Barrett.
Shaquille. We're not going to go into all of our game picks this week, kind of shorten up the episode, but we're each going to pick a game of the week. I'm going to start it off with Eagles Buccaneers on Monday night, playing alongside the Bengals and Rams. Obviously, my pick of the week is Bengals and Rams, but to kind of change up the flow a little bit, kind
Yeah, I
of pick
like
a
it.
different game other than Bengals because we obviously talked about that already. Eagles and Buccaneers only because I think Baker could do something.
I mean, they're home.
I, I think I hope Baker does something. I've always been a big Baker Mayfield guy since college, and I think that I like underdogs.
Yeah.
Buccaneers are an underdog team.
So are you taking Philly or are you taking Tampa on your actual pick 'em?
I forget who I took on my actual pick 'em, but
I'm taking Philly.
I'm taking Philly. I won't
Philly.
judge. I won't
I'll
judge
take
you.
Philly.
I won't judge you, but
look, I will take
I like that
Philly
game.
just because it's smarter. But I want the Buccaneers to win.
I like it.
All right. My game of the week, or like game I want to pay close attention to, is Denver at Miami. Vic Fangio faces his old team. I think Denver could be a sleeper team to win that game. I think Sean Payton's looking for for his first win. I think like people are gonna be high on Miami, obviously, and think that Denver's 0-2. I think Denver could maybe sneakily go in there and win in Miami and get their first win for Sean Payton as a Bronco.
For sure.
I would say my game, I can't really say game of the week, but, kind of the trend that we're doing here. Chargers at Vikings. 2 0-2 teams, 2 very similar teams, I would say. Very high-powered offenses, not really great defenses. Kirk's playing awesome. Kind of gets overshadowed by the fact that they're 0-2, but he's having a really, really good year so far. I picked the Chargers just because I think they're a little bit more of a complete team. Neither one of them, I would say, are a complete team, but that's just tough. I mean, Colton, you said it earlier. If the Chargers lose that game, I think it's time to start saying Staley's on the hot seat.
He should already be on it.
I just wish they would have went with Sean Payton from the start.
I mean, do you, though? I mean, you mean a couple years ago when they...
No, like this past year when they were thinking about they just
They should have moved on from Staley.
Yeah,
if you
I think,
blow
yeah.
a 24-point
Yeah.
game,
Like I think that was
They
his
have, that
moment
was
right
their
there.
perfect.
That's
That
when
was
he-
their perfect out.
And Sean Payton was wanting
Yeah.
to come to LA, and then he just goes to Denver because they end up re-signing or keeping him with Staley.
My game's gonna have to be Buffalo and Washington.
I was gonna bring that up after you
I,
talked
I
about it.
think
just to talk
I think
about
it'd be a great game to see what Eric Bieniemy can
exactly.
do.
That Buffalo defense
Buff-
isn't very
Buffalo's
good.
defense is pretty good.
hey, Eric Bieniemy's familiar with Buffalo.
Yeah, they play a lot.
Yeah, so
yeah, so I mean, he's got that. He sees them. He knows what to do.
Yeah,
I mean, I have Buffalo winning.
yeah.
So I think Washington's defense is gonna.
a little
That
slow.
D line
a
though,
little
if that
bit.
D line shows up,
That's a
If
good
that
point.
D line shows up, it could go Washington.
I just hope
Washington
both
win.
offenses ball out, as I do have Josh Allen and Sam Howell in the same league playing on my team in my 2-quarterback league.
that would help.
So I really hope both high-powered offenses is going. Nothing but
Yeah, I
scores, fireworks.
It does kind of break my heart a little bit seeing no diss to like the Commanders or anything like that. They're they're an NFL team, but like the Bengals obviously have a lot more talent than them as far as player by player. And then see them put up 35 points and we can't we barely break 20. It's like it's hard.
I think the Atlanta-Detroit game will be good. And the game I was gonna pay attention to was Indy at Baltimore, but Anthony Richardson I think is not playing this week.
That kind of sucks.
Yeah. So I think Baltimore. I mean, don't count out Minshew, but
Yeah, but it does take that like
yeah, Richardson's like the fun rookie to watch.
I think we kind of skipped past it, but the Cincy Stripes parlay this week. Let's get into that a little bit.
We went 0 for 4 again. I
Let's
mean,
see how many picks.
can you really judge us though? I mean, it's been 2 pretty bad weeks.
No,
I think
from a fan standpoint, can't judge it.
You're
I
not
think we
gonna
got to
win
crumple
anything the way
those
we
up
look.
and just throw them in the trash can.
Last 2
We're
weeks
keeping
haven't
it
counted.
sweet and simple
simple.
this week. Almost kind of didn't want to say it. Thanks, Jordan. I'm only going to do one leg. I think we're going to do one leg each. I'm just going to take Bengals money line. Must win. That's all I got to say about
And
it.
I'm just taking a touchdown score, and it's going to be Mixon. He's got to get going, and I think they're going to actually try to focus, and I think they're hearing the fan base to run the dang ball.
Yeah,
And I think
Without
Mixon
spins,
gets a touchdown.
put like $1 on this parlay, guys.
Yeah.
not how we wanted to start the year as far as the Cincy Stripes parlay goes, but
Not much we can do
Not your
when-
fault.
nah, yeah, we'll maybe start an NFL one too.
Yeah,
we'll
that'll
start
actually-
doing NFL parlays. All right, guys, that's the end of episode 4.
Ooh, it feels
Congratulations to Andrew Schaus. We're going to reach out to you.
good. Congratulations.
And make sure you guys share this podcast with people. We definitely want to build a great community with you guys. We want to interact with you guys a lot more on Twitter. We'll start putting our email up more. Maybe you guys some questions for the podcast we can answer. And we'll be back with you guys next week.
See you.
See you guys.